Africa has really gone through dark parts in history, and trust me, these parts are really crazy. The very first time Africa came into the global space was during the 15th century, when some fleet of guys discovered the path created by Christopher Columbus to sail through the Atlantic Ocean down to Africa. Upon getting to Africa, they discovered that there were some set of guys there that were physically strong. Of course, they would need this strength to work in their plantation. So they decided to trade off this strength for their plantation. But what did they use in exchange of that? Handkerchief, mirrors, and etc. So they took these Africans down to their country or down to the diaspora to work on their plantation. And this trade lasted for over 500 years. That was really crazy. However, in the blink of that, some set of guys came up to fight for the emancipation of Africans' freedom. The likes of Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and many more. Good 18, within a short period of time, they were able to secure Africans' freedom. But it didn't end there. The second time African came into the global space was at the peak of World War II, when the leader of the Nazi movement, popularly known as Adolf Hitler, stood up to say that he wants to destroy every soul in Africa so that Africa would be a land for agriculture. Within this period, some set of guys stood up again to fight against that. The likes of Winston Churchill, representing the UK, and of course America, stood up to stop the Nazis movement. Thank God they won, and luckily Africa survived. Now, these are few of the trauma Africa has really gone through in history. But then what seems to be the worst of Africans' problem? To me, Africans' worst problem isn't corruption. Neither is it mismanagement of our natural resources or political issue. But our worst problem is poverty. And this problem is rooted as a result of lack of skills.
True development in an economy can only happen if the right set of skills to cause the transformation in various sectors of that economy to happen is there in the hands of people that need those skills. Now, in those days, trade between countries, the factor of trade between countries are mainly resources, natural or physical resources that people can touch. But in this age and time, the resources that thrive, that sell, that cause true transformation to happen are those intellectual property. Take the Android phone, for example. See how it has caused a huge form of transformation even in the way people live their life, and also in the economy of the people that came together and came up with it. The internet is also a product of intellectual property. It has reformed the way people live their life, and also it has also caused that level of transformation in the economy of people. Now, Skill Hub is a product of intellectual property that creates that connection between skillful people and unskillful people. In a sense, making skillful people visible and making people that desire to be skillful that needs the required skill to cause transformation in their lives and also in the economy to meet with those people that can give them the skill. Now, this is from evidence. This is what Africa really needs to cause the disease that is suffering from, which is poverty and some other things that are outlined to solve the problem of Africa.
So how do I see the bigger picture of Skill Hub in solving Africans' problems? I believe if Africa had developed as civilization to a maximum level, she wouldn't have been dealt a hard hand during the transatlantic slave trade. So therefore, if Africa had been skilled enough, she would have been able to build our economy to a favorable level and be on a competitive edge with other parts of the world. What Skill Hub is doing is giving Africans, connecting Africans to the right skill set that they can change for value. So as an African, as a young African, or as an African person, you get to learn a particular skill, be best at it, and trade that skill for a certain income. Removing Africa from the path of poverty, which is gradually leading her back to the slave trade era. It might not necessarily be the transatlantic slave trade, but what we see in this generation is now neocolonialism. So Skill Hub provides skills from fashion designing to hair making, to how to make bags, shoes, to website design, to how to code, even to how to process cassava. As a person, I go by the mantra that only Africans can develop Africa. So therefore, if Africa is skilled enough, she will be able to build her economy to a right path.